Hey guys, it's Bob. Welcome back. Hope you guys are having a great day. So I just got done doing a reaction to Mission Souls, and to be honest, I'm kind of feeling energetic here tonight, and I thought I would go ahead and listen to one more. There's a song I've been wanting to listen to. I found out a couple weeks ago that the band Perry, who I love, I've seen them a couple times in concert, and they were amazing in concert, but then they just kind of disappeared and they kind of fell off the face of the earth. But I heard they released a new song. At least it's been a month and a half or something like that. Don't hold me to that. And it's called Psychological, I think. Let's see. Let me look. Psychological. So I've been wanting to react to this. It just hasn't fit in. But now that I have a couple extra minutes, I thought I would jump on and do this one real quick and see what this is all about. So why don't we do it? Let me open this up. Let's listen to the band Perry. I'm excited about this. Here we go.
I heard you like Nirvana, so I listen all night while I sleep. I've memorized 10 songs, cause you might ask me if I can name 3. Started drinking Jack even though I hate whiskey. I'd fake my own death just to see if you'd miss me. I'd drive by the house that one day will be ours. Do you think I'm taking this too far? No, 'cause you make crazy seem rational. I'd say obsession feels natural. You're all I want, any hoop, any obstacle. Boy, you make going psychological. In my head, yeah, you mess all my common sense up. I know I'm crossing lines that I shouldn't. I'm out of my mind, but I don't need no hospital. Boy, you make going psychological. If you didn't like all my friends, guess what? Now they're dead to me. If there's somebody else, then it's first degree. Swear I'm not like this all of the time. It's only when you're on my mind. 'Cause you make crazy seem rational. I'd say obsession feels natural. You're all I want, any hoop, any obstacle. Boy, you make going psychological. In my head, yeah, you mess all my common sense up. I know I'm crossing lines that I shouldn't. I'm out of my mind, but I don't need no hospital. Boy, you make going psychological.
All right. That's a good break. I'll back it up. Wow. I really like that. It is so good hearing these guys again. It's been so long. And I've been to a concerts since the 70s. I've seen so many bands and good ones like Queen and, all those bands. But um, I don't know if there were many bands that were exciting as if they. I'm not saying the bands weren't better back then, but these guys created so much energy, so much excitement. You couldn't help but just kind of be along there for the ride. And when most people think of the band Perry, they think of if I when I die, oh no, if I die young, and Better Dig 2 was another really fun one. But then came a period, I think, where they really started experimenting with more darker music, more maybe a modern sound, less country. And what's interesting about this is that it appears that they've started moving back maybe just a little bit, like they're migrating back maybe little bit towards their country roots again. Obviously, this isn't country. It almost feels like I don't know, just more of a modern country. I mean, modern country is not country like it used to be, like the old Merle Haggard and George Jones type thing, but more modern country. I think this is it. So this song almost feels like kind of a snapshot of that chapter in their career when they were just kind of seeing how far they can push themselves creatively. Right away, you can hear again that this isn't again traditional country. The production has this dark, almost cinematic, I guess, tension to it. And I'm saying tension intentionally because I think it did. It feels mysterious from the very beginning, like you're walking into a story and something isn't just quite right with it, but you just don't know what it is. And Kimberly Perry That's it. I knew I'd remember her name. Kimberly's voice fits that mood perfectly. She's got really a unique voice that I like. And she's not just singing the lyrics, she's kind of creating a character, I think, as the song kind of goes on. There's a confidence in her delivery, like there always is with every song she's ever sang. But there's also this underlying sense, I think, that something's always slightly beneath the surface. You can kind of sense it, but you don't always see it. And I think that's kind of what pulls us in. Country music, and I'm saying that because country music often lays everything out pretty clearly in telling a story and whatever it's doing. They leave no room for imagination to the listener because they're going to tell you what the song is about and they're going to lay it out. Here, I think they leave a lot for the listener to figure out. And I actually enjoy that because it makes us lean into the song itself and not just listen to it, not just take it in. You actually become part of it. And honestly, I have to give them some credit. A lot of artists might find something that works and stay with it for 20 years. The band Perry decided to take a creative detour, I think, and whether people loved it or hated it, you can't say that they weren't willing to take a chance. So really nice so far. So let's go ahead and play this to the end. Sorry I'm gabbing a lot. I just really enjoyed this. Here we go.
Seem rational, I'd say obsession feels natural. You're all I want. Any hoop, any obstacle, boy, you're making me go psycho. Don't you know? In my head, yeah, you mess all my common sense up. I know I'm crossing lines that I shouldn't. I'm out of my mind. I don't need no hospital, boy, you make me going psychological. Boy, you're making me go psycho.
Okay, that was good. You know, I did a little research on this band before doing this about a week ago, and I guess with the band Perry, it was her and her two brothers, if I remember right. And I think one of the brothers left to do his own thing, and I guess the guy who's playing the guitar there is her now husband. So that's kind of a little fun fact I like sharing here on Nightlight, on Modern Life of the 70s Mind. I always want to say my business name. So anyways, okay. I had to stop the camera because I mentioned my company name and then the whole train went off the track. I couldn't get a thought straight. So I figured I'm going to stop it and just regroup. So here we go. So on the second half, I think this is when the song really started settling into its own identity. What stands out for me is how much of the tension comes from not what the band is doing, but what the band is not doing. They don't rush the song. They don't throw in these huge choruses just because they're supposed to. And I think that's what kind of makes this song a little like uneasy. And I think that's the feeling they're going for. So instead, they let the mood keep building. And Kimberly's vocal, I think, is the big reason for that. She's not trying, I don't think, to overpower the track. She uses tone and attitude as much as she does volume. And between the two of those things, I think that really works. It was almost like she's pulling you into some story instead of pushing the emotion at you. Another thing I really appreciate is how disciplined the production is. Every sound seems intentional. Nothing feels like it's there just to make the song bigger or to make it sound more powerful or more enticing to the listener. Everything is serving the mood. And honestly, that's not always easy to pull off because sometimes I think when artists do that, they have a tendency to maybe undersing the song, but they're not doing it. They're not doing that here. And one thing that made me smile in imagining the reaction of fans who only knew the band Perry from their country hits. If you put this on without telling them who this is, I bet a lot of the people wouldn't even begin to guess that this was the band Perry. And that's quite a musical left turn. Although I have to admit, I like when artists take left turns once in a while, because you don't want them to get caught in a rut. And it may not always work, but it's a whole lot more interesting than driving down that same old road forever and ever. I'm not saying I need to listen to our happy song after this, but at least I'm thinking about it because it's kind of a downer song, but it's good because the band Perry isn't trying to make us feel just a little uncomfortable. They're trying to make, I think, make us feel very uncomfortable. So if that's what they're trying to do, mission accomplished. All right, really good. I like this. And anything I'm saying here was not negative because I really, really enjoyed this. Let me get my headphones off. I am going to listen to this one more time, and then I'll be back for final thoughts. I'll be right back. All right, welcome back to Final Thoughts. What did you guys think? As I'm sure you already know, I really liked it, but I've been a big band Perry fan for quite a while, so I'm not surprised that I really like this. And what I found maybe most interesting about this is that it isn't trying to win people over by being catchy. A couple of their songs were really catchy. You could sing along with them and everything. I don't think so in this song. I think instead it's trying to create like a feeling. And I think that's almost a much harder thing to do. This song isn't asking you to sing along after one listen to it. Maybe the second I started a little bit. No, I'm kidding. It's asking you instead, I think, is to step into their world for a few minutes. And I appreciate that they don't simply just change, they didn't just change genres. I think they changed the way they tell a story as well. And I already mentioned how country music has a tendency to spell out the meaning of the song and what's happening in the song a little bit more. Here, that's just not the case. Like I said, country music often paints this really clear picture with straightforward lyrics. Here, the emotion, I think, comes just as much from the production, the pacing, and Kimberly's delivery as it does from the words themselves. And that's a different kind of songwriting altogether. Two completely different worlds. And also a reminder that artists don't have to stay in the same lane where they first found success. I'm really surprised they didn't hold on to that success a little longer because I think they only had 2 or 3 albums where they kind of stayed in that same pattern, and then they seemed to stray from that pretty heavy. And there's something that went on. I don't know everything that went on, but there's a backstory there. I should have maybe researched that before. I don't know, but anyways, I think sometimes the most interesting music comes from taking a creative risk, even if not everybody follows you there. And honestly, I'd rather hear an artist take a chance than play it safe all the time, because what fun is that? And one last thought: if I Die Young introduced us to a side of band Perry, psychological, I think, is meeting the same person, but years later, after they've gone through a lot more life. They're a lot more hardened. It's darker. It's more mysterious. And whether it's your favorite direction or not, you can't say they didn't commit to it. Sometimes I think the biggest risk that artists can take is letting you hear the side of them that you never expected. And when I think back when I first started listening to the band Perry, I never expected a song like this, or a couple of earlier, just prior to this, some of their songs. I just never saw those coming. So it's exciting. It makes me a little more excited to hear their next song because I don't know what I'm going to expect. All right, guys, listen. If you like this, please like, subscribe, and please comment. I would really appreciate it. It really helps me out. And I hope you liked it because I really did, and I would love to see your comments. So, all right, listen. Only life is priceless. Make each and every day count. God bless all of you. Peace out. Talk to you guys next time.